let's talk about some bid wars that are coming up. It's really still the same ones that we've been talking about before, but we've got the still reasonably close race of Save or Kill Meryl, a bid war classic for Metal Gear Solid. The Metal Gear Solid run, let's see here, when's that happening? Let me just remind myself. The Metal Gear Solid run will be happening later today, later today in the evening. Or at least the evening for the Californians here, which, as I understand, is every single person in this chat. We are all Californians on this blessed weekend. Talking about classic bid wars, we have, of course, the Super Metroid Save versus Kill the Animals. We've still got a pretty strong lead for Kill the Animals at $57.50, and that's just jumped to $107.50 from a donation by Rusty Fuzzy, who says, "Thanks for all you do. Let's keep people safe." By killing the animals, apparently. That donation has also been contributed towards Metroid Prime Pinball Magmore Caverns, which brings us to $52.50 up out of the $300 goal. I do need to advise you that due to some restrictions on the donation website, there is actually only 15 minutes left to get that amount. So I believe in miracles, but if this is definitely one of those now or never situations. We have just under $250 left to raise within 15 minutes. Can we do it? We might just be able to do it. We'll have to see. And the other bid war to be aware of is the Rayman 1 versus Rayman 2 bid war. Currently, Rayman 1 has $75 contributed toward it. Rayman 2 just recently had a $10 donation toward it, but that is currently where it stands. Rayman 1 still having a pretty commanding lead on that bid war. Looks like we are just about getting ready to start with Jaxler's run of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I want to thank everyone in the chat for your patience and understanding, as we've definitely experienced some technical difficulties, but we've just as assuredly been able to move past them. And without further ado, it looks like we're going to get Jaxler in here to get this run underway. Good to go? Looks like you're
all right. Yo, what's good, everyone? My name is Jaxler, and welcome to the best kept secret in speedrunning. This is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions for the Nintendo DS. I am joined here by the other runner of this game, Mr. Shasta.
What's up, dude? I just called the entire chat.
What's up, gamers?
What's happening, gamers? How's it going? But yeah, I'm the only other person who's run this game before, and it's a really cool speedrun, so I'll enjoy it.
So you might be wondering, what is this game? All I'm going to tell you for right now is that this is a 2D Metroidvania with Spider-Man powers. That's all you're getting for right now. We're just generally going to let the movement speak for itself. So starting off here, we're going to play the game on time trial mode. This will just skip some cutscenes throughout the run, as well as some level transition effects and stuff that are really slow. This is all...
It's a really bad
they're really...
You have to, spin... Yeah, it's really bad. Trust me.
This is good. It also lets us do a couple of unique tricks as well, so... we'll get into that later when it becomes relevant. But time starts when I press A here, so I think we're about ready to go. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
I got word that Mysterio found some old...
Alright, so starting off the game here, we're going to have access to two major forms of movement, which are web zips and web swings. So those are going to get a little hard to differentiate, so I'm just going to call the zips dive kicks for the sake of consistency for the most time. But essentially, when you use the A, you use the A button in this game, it'll pull you towards any nearby surface. And so I'm going to be using this to do a bunch of diagonal zips for these dive kick attacks that let us gain a bunch of speed here. You'll also see me throw in these web swings. Ooh, that was a weird dropped input. Okay, don't worry about that. Web swings kind of act like the more typical Spider-Man web slinging movement, but we'll get into that a bit more later. Here's Mysterio. And there goes Mysterio. So that's a consistent fight where we have a specific damage setup and specific combo attacks that we do every time. This game has a really cool beat-em-up combat system to it, and you'll see us exploit that throughout the run here.
Yeah, let's just say you can do an infinite combo on pretty much every single boss and enemy in the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a cool thing.
So throughout this game, there's a bunch of like extra power-ups we can grab. We grabbed one earlier that allows us to do a rising uppercut attack, and that one allows us to do dodge rolls. Right there, I held right, B, and A during that cutscene. It allows me to jump out of my suit coat and get moving a little bit faster.
I know you did it.
Yeah, you can actually just buffer it. It's kind of cool. Alright, so now we're introduced to a new character here. So, like, each of these different characters has, like, a different, like, set of movesets and strengths and weaknesses. This guy can't actually climb up walls for some reason, but he can find hidden stuff in the environment, but we won't be too worried about that much. That's a little bit of... Yeah, go ahead.
This is a Noir Spider-Man,
Yeah.
by the way. This game goes through 3 different Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I guess. So first one is original Amazing Spider-Man in modern time. This one is Noir Spider-Man in like the 1920s, 1930s or so. And then later we're going to 2099 Spider-Man, who's from the future and all that. They all have different backstories and different like comics and stuff they come from, but for our sake here, let's just well, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
If I web zip at an upper angle,
this game is really cool like that. It's not just using the regular Spider-Man the whole time. You have different Spider-Man with different mechanics
Yeah.
and stuff.
So, we're coming up into the first boss against Boomerang here. I don't know where he's from in the series, but we're gonna beat him to death. Oh, well, that is true. So I'm gonna steal his Boomerang and do a very specific combo setup here. So I use the wall right there. Normally, after an aerial combo, you have to wait till he gets back to the ground before you can attack him again. But if you put him next to the wall, you can start an aerial combo in the other direction, and that allows you to one-cycle him. So every boss fight we defeat gets us a new ability. We get the ability now to be able to break these cinder blocks with a downward angled web zip. And now it's just some really sick movement here. We're going to be swapping over to the next character, but we have to navigate a bit of the way through here.
I just want to point out as well too, the reason why Jaxler's character here is glowing is because he hasn't really gotten hit in a while. That's kind of a cool mechanic of the game, is that if you don't get hit for a long time, you kind of just build momentum and you just end up moving faster and like hitting faster and
yeah, you end up also dealing more base damage too, so we're going to be abusing that, especially once we get back to Amazing Spider-Man to do some specific setups, especially in the Tinkerer fight. Right here is a damage upgrade. That's just a flat 10% damage increase. Very helpful for the run. And now I'm going to be trying to do something right here. Nice, I got it. So if you mash X there, you can actually go back through the portal during the cutscene right there. And that allows you to regain control of 2099 Spider-Man during that cutscene, which takes around, I want to say 7 seconds or so. So now we're as Miguel, or 2099 Spider-Man. He doesn't have the ability to use web-related abilities just yet, but he has the ability to do some gliding stuff. So we're going to do some kind of cool movement here to sort of do a couple little minor platform skips. But there's not too much going on here until we get to the next boss, so this would be a good time to fit in 1 or 2 donations.
Oh, and I have 1 or 2 donations for you. First off, I want to let everyone know that we have officially surpassed...
Yo, let's go!
Oh, heck yeah!
COVID-19. Now, the donation that got us there was a $50.53 donation that got us to 1,000 on the market. It comes from Ark, who says, "Stay safe, everyone." But we also have a $25 donation from Drunk Warrior, who says, "Stan Lee once said, I wish I could have as much talent as Jaxler. He is the #1 most speedrunner at speedrun." Good luck, Jax, and also Horror Game Represent. And then it was followed up by a $100 donation.
Holy cow.
This comes from Meek Rhino, who says, "Great to see the community come together, and I always love to see Rayman in black. Good luck with the Rayman run. 2D Rayman is the best Rayman."
So during those donations, that was Vulture. I didn't mean to cut you off. Was there still more to that donation, or?
I was about to say, chat's saying we're a little quiet, so if you turn us up real quick.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Alright, perfect. Go ahead then.
Alright, give me this shield. So, we beat Vulture during that huge donation fest. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. That really means a lot to us. But we beat up Vulture. That's a pretty RNG-heavy boss fight, but I didn't really have to talk about much because he was actually super cooperative this run. He gives us an ability called Power Fusion. And a really interesting mechanic of this game is that once you unlock that ability, you can find secret portals in the game that let you transfer the unique qualities of a specific character to the other characters in the game. So we did that to be able to get the ability to web zip as 2099 Spider-Man. We also grabbed another offensive upgrade called the back kick. It's not specifically necessary for any percent, but it's going to let us do a lot of things faster in the speedrun in terms of combat sequences.
Yeah, this game has a lot of different powers and upgrades and other stuff like that just hidden throughout it. It's a really good game for what it is. Like, if you ever find a copy of this game ever out in the wild, just go for it. It's so, you'll enjoy the game.
Oh my gosh, I'm almost sick. So there is a task strat you can do right there, where if you nail a very tight web swing, you can grab a extra 10% damage upgrade right there. I almost have it, but I'm gonna just grab this one. Yeah, I've hit it a couple times RTA, but it's really hard. It's not that slow to go grab this upgrade though, and that's what I usually do in any percent anyway, so. Almost got it from Marathon Swag. We also get another one for free right here. Break this thing with a upward flip kick, and now we're off to our next boss fight here. So typically in gameplay progression for this game, you essentially swap to a character, go fight a boss, and then swap to the next character, and repeat the cycle 2 times each for each character. So we're gonna, before we start that progression, we're actually gonna go here and do another Power Fusion portal that's hidden up here. That's gonna give Amazing Spider-Man Noir's ability to find hidden switches in the environment. Now, at the start here, I'm gonna delay an uppercut in order to chain all of these guys together. And that should kill them all in one shot. Now, these guys have electrical shields. These guys are the worst. It's hurt. Yeah. So when you try to attack them normally, they'll actually damage you with their shields because they're obnoxious. So I'm using a combination of ground slams here and web swings in order to be able to damage them through their shields. Except for this guy, you can kind of just dive kick through him and he doesn't really care. I don't know why that works. Really sick movement through here. And now we're going to go take care of Tinkerer now. So we're going to backtrack a little bit through here. Don't zap me. That's not what I meant. Oh, this could be bad. Alright, there we go. Backup strats. So this is kind of a cool speed game because there's like a lot of different movements that you can do that aren't necessarily slower than each other. Obviously, zipping up to the top of a building, I don't need to, is slow, but there's a lot of different like maneuvers that you can do that only gain or lose fractions a bit of time compared to some sort of task like setup. So it's a very freeform kind of game, and you can kind of express your own style in the movement. Like if you're to look at my run and Shasta's run, for example, we can approach the same situation in 2 completely different ways. So just kind of a unique thing about this run. Now, while
His would be faster because his time.
Yeah, but I do a different route. So you're sitting on a free 2-minute PB.
That's true.
So while I'm
right.
while I'm vibrating in the corner over here, Tinker is gonna spawn a bunch of robots in, and the crux of this fight is that once I defeat his robots, one of 3 generators will light up, and then I have to go break it. So as Shasta mentioned earlier, this momentum meter goes up as I continue to avoid damage and deal damage to enemies. So we want to make sure that we have high momentum here when we're breaking these generators, because the faster we go here is determined by how much momentum we have. I throw that guy. Yeah.
Also,
Go for it.
if I'm not mistaken, these generators are also random, like when they
For the most part, usually you can react to which one. So the middle always goes first. And then if you see the laser on the left, you go for it. If you don't see it, you just go to the right. And then after that, you're kind of set to go. Oop. So that's another reason we get the dodge roll. It's really useful for vents because it allows us to roll through them. Ooh, this is not good. This is not very cash money.
Get that shield out of there.
Heck. Alright, there we go. Sometimes the Tinker will also just like to avoid turning on a generator for some reason. It's a little confusing and I don't really quite understand it. But now we're actually...
By the way, shout-outs to the Tinkerer being voiced by famous voice actor Jim Cummings, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. It's actually Jim Cummings, Winnie the Pooh.
Cool. Web's got a little more.
So yeah, fun fact for you right there.
Alright, so doing that boss fight lets us pull down these metal barriers. So we do that to get a free damage upgrade on the way. And now we're going to sort of break the intended sequence of this game. So this game's rather glitchless, but we're going to do kind of a cool little strat here. Normally, the last boss in this section of areas in Amazing Spider-Man's levels is Electro. And you have to have a later boss's power-up to be able to get through here. But that sequence of movements right there, ow, if I don't like keep catapulting myself into lasers, essentially allows us to skip past having to backtrack with a new power-up here later. So a little bit of a tricky strat there, but a neat little routing time save. So we get to go straight to the last boss. So as a result, all these enemies we have to fight are a lot chunkier than what we've been dealing with previously. Gonna start by throwing this laser rifle. These laser rifles are like explosives essentially. Oh, that's really unlucky. Ow.
These shields out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of town.
So you'll also see me using the dodge roll, and oh, that could have been bad. So these enemies kind of have some random attacks. Most of the time you can react. So the one you really have to be careful about is that roll attack, that charging dash attack from the big boys. That attack has what's known as super armor. Wow, I'm getting extremely destroyed by these robots. They are being quite sassy right now. But that attack has a property called super armor, which means they'll still take damage from your attacks, but they won't get knocked back at all. So I have to be really careful there, or else I'm just gonna take a hit to the face. All right, so now here's Electro. This is another example where we're just gonna kind of infinite combo him. So.
Yeah, the thing about Electro is that he's kind of just very similar to other bosses, and that he's just very easy to pick on.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really have any special properties that make this not a thing that he can do. Does that make sense? So, he just has got a lot more health. That's really bad.
So you're gonna see me use a bunch of dive kicks as well as ground slams in order to actually be able to extend combos further than I am normally. Alright, they should be dead. Not bad.
Nice.
And that's gonna give us Super Dash, Spider Dash. This works exactly like you would think it would from Super Metroid, but we can also use it to run up walls, which is really sick. So now we have to backtrack through here, some really tricky movement. Very easy to take damage from that set of electrical fields right there, but if you're careful, you should be fine here. Now, if I do this right, I can maintain a charge fairly far through here. Alright, I missed it, but I got a really fast little backup strat there. So I'm going to build up another supercharge and then jump a little bit early to maintain and then hold forward, and then we're just going to grab this damage upgrade. So the purpose of doing Electro early, in addition to getting some damage upgrades a tad bit earlier, it just helps in terms of routing because we don't have to backtrack through a bunch of slow rooms later. Ooh, that was really clean.
Let the tablet lead you.
That was nice.
Among history itself.
Start back to Noir Spider-Man's level as well. There's always like different explosive things in the wall. I don't know if they call them, but it's like
yeah, they're really obnoxious.
It's like handballs, I guess.
Ow.
They're very obnoxious. Yeah, they knock you back pretty far and don't do much damage either, which is. You expected something to explode in your face and do more damage, but you know what? We'll take it, I guess.
Wow, I'm getting owned by RNG. So there's a small chance that one of these brutes will launch like an explosive projectile at you, and it's a little uncommon that it happens, but not a huge deal. So these enemies are pushovers for this point in the game. So I'm just gonna do kind of a strat to sort of insta-kill them. This would be another sick time for donations. If you got any, or if you got any other things you want to plug.
Let's see here. I do want to talk about the bid wars that have been updated by the more recent donations here. So let's just go ahead and check theirs. So first off, the Saber Kill Meryl donation war is pretty much right where it was last we checked in. Saber Kill the Animals has progressed, as well as you might recall. Their Kill the Animals is taking a pretty commanding lead now at $107.50 against Save the Animals, still at $25. I should inform you that $100 donation from earlier went towards Rayman 1. So now Rayman 1 is at $175. Versus Rayman 2 now it's at. With that run coming up later on in just a few runs here, there's not too much time left for Rayman 1 to make a comeback.
Lady, you're playing with force.
I guess you can definitely
Yeah.
answer that one.
Alright, so I'm gonna immediately web zip right here. This is Calypso. She's a terrible boss in terms of she is just a giant pushover. Except for her cronies here. They're a little bit annoying. But, like, watch her health just evaporate here. Uh-oh. Alright, I almost just completely flubbed the easiest one cycle in speedrunning history. But hey, we got through.
Congratulations.
Alright,
Nice.
so now some really sick movement here to sort of backtrack here. There are these like floating enemies that do a really good job of sniping you mid-air, so I'm doing very particular set of movements here just to make sure I don't get nailed. Free damage upgrade right here. The ability that we get from Calypso allows us to reveal fake walls, which is kind of neato Cheetos.
I didn't even know that was there. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't either until I watched the 100% test.
Fair enough. Yeah, something to note now is that we since we went to that portal earlier, we actually have the ability to web swing as well, and excuse me, it is also glide.
Yeah.
Which like we can find that with web swinging. That's really good. That's for sure.
So now it's normally you're expected to go through Noir's portal to 2099 in order to get to the next boss, but it's actually faster just to backtrack through that level instead in order to get to Silvermane, who's our next opponent here. A lot of these levels. Oh, I overshot. Not a big deal. Oh, heck. Heck. Everything has gone to heck. Oh, heck. This is a disaster. Well, it happens.
Oh no.
If you screw up your movement a tiny bit here, it can lead to some devastating consequences. But hey, it's okay. It's a marathon. No pressure, right?
No pressure at all. That's the kind of thing that can happen though, especially 29 Spider-Man's air level. Is that this is almost very vertical. There's just a lot of platforms, and if you fall off a platform or can't zip web swing onto the platform, then might be looking at just yourself falling down just a ton.
Break time.
Like what happened, but yeah.
Alright, so now we're in the Silvermane boss fight. So now he has super armor to most of our major attacks, except for the attack from a web swing and a ground pound, or a back kick. And this boss fight is really the major reason that we both got the dodge rule and the back kick. Now sometimes he will randomly do a back kick, but wow, that was like a perfect fight. There we go.
Hey, nice.
So this power-up lets us like web against electrical surfaces, which we would have used to get to Electro, but we ain't got time for that, so we're gonna go beat the game. So now, you might be wondering if it's possible to skip any of these bosses. Even though we do them out of order, we actually have to make sure that we go defeat them all, or else the game will not allow us to progress to the end here. So now there's a mysterious portal here, so I gotta kind of beat up some enemies here. This fight's a little tricky, so I'm just gonna kind of focus here. Generally speaking, in terms of combat strategy, you try to group enemies together up in the air so that you can hit them all with the same kind of style of infinite combo. And then I'll use specific... Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
So essentially, like the way you do that is you have to do an uppercut attack, which happens after, I think it's like your third jab in this case. You start doing it there at least. Like you do jab, 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 then up, and then you start attacking in midair, and then your web swing, or your web zips just like keep people in midair, and just keep doing that over and over again in order to actually hit the combo zone. It's very tricky. It takes some getting used to, but it's really really
yeah.
good.
And
as that's what most
yeah.
combat is.
In the 100% run, you get to see a lot more moves get used in because you can combo a lot more stuff mid-air. So, but with any percent, we have less tools at our disposal. So more shield guys here. So I'm gonna disarm them with the web, and that lets me set up right into a combo here, and then I can just pound them into oblivion. So that was pretty clean.
I think these guys don't have
Yeah.
a bunch of shields.
So you're going to see me use the combination of web swing, ground pound, back kick on a lot of these brutes because it's really fast. Alright, this is a cool little strat where we skip going all the way around the room by charging up a spider dash and then jumping up that wall. And that skips kind of a whole rotation. And then right before this last breakable wall, I jump and then web zip straight down so I can cancel my spider dash instantly. Then I roll so I can immediately get right out of the air vent. Oh, this could have been... Okay, we're good. So you're supposed to do some sort of weird web swing setup here. It's kind of dumb. But you can just wall jump up it. It's not a big deal. I don't know why they put that there. It's kind of annoying. Alright. Specific uppercut here. Just to make sure I handle those flying guys right there. Those guys deal a lot of damage and take a lot of momentum if they hit you. So again, these electrical rifles essentially act as like bombs. So I can disarm an enemy and then throw them at them in order to do a huge amount of damage. Alright, there we go. So I'm just going to be styling on enemies for a bit more right here. So this is probably, I'd say, the last good time for any messages you got.
Well, all I got for you right now is just a reminder that our next donation goal that we still have a good 3.5 hours for $500 is the infinite speed trick to be shown off in Billy Hatcher by Cosmic. I think he's really wanting to make that happen, so it'd be really cool if you guys could maybe send your next few donations that way to make sure it happens.
Alright, well, something that can happen this game is input buffering, where a little bit after you jump off a ledge, sometimes if you press B to try to, like, web swing, you'll get a weird jump. So that's what happened right there, but a lot of this is just super sick movement. One thing that we didn't really mention is that these ground pound zips, normally you can cancel any zip into any other direction, but you can't with ground pound, so I'm using the web swing attack in order to be able to cancel those ground pounds. Alright, I have to be really careful here, because that guy has a bomb. Oh, I think he died. No, he didn't die. Ow. So this is sort of the last combat gauntlet here, before we get into Mysterio, which is the final boss. Strat right here, I disarm that guy, and then immediately chuck the rifle to do a ton of damage. And the nice thing about the web swing is it has a really long active hitbox, so I'm going to be using that a lot in general for crowd control. And that's part of what makes it so effective against the shield enemies. What is happening, game? Game is taking some very creative liberties on what I'm trying to do with the controls right now. Alright, this is the real tricky one. 2 shield enemies and 2 rocket launchers, so I gotta be a little careful here.
Oh yeah, these guys are the worst. General rule of thumb, any sort of electric shield enemy is not your friend. Not only will they hurt you with it, they'll also stun you for a while with electric shield.
Alright, now we got 4 brutes. Ooh. So, even though the dodge roll's main speed purpose is for going faster in vents, it's really important that I am able to react, oh gosh, that's what I meant, to things like that, where they throw bombs or do super armored get-up attacks. Alright, there we go. So that's the end of sort of the Shattered Dimension. And now we have a lot of momentum going into the final boss here, which is Mysterio. There's a bunch of different attacks he can do here, and it's pretty random. I'd say this is probably the most random of the bosses, but when I'm going to try to do it to start is Web Zip, and if he's not in hit stun, he'll immediately warp away. Alright, so he's going to go mid-air. I can get a free combo out of this attack. So an interesting property of the momentum as well is that if you have like a certain momentum threshold, you can actually get bonus attacks out of your aerial combo, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, the few attacks in particular that Mysterio will do that can actually send him enough hit stun to actually start an instant combo on him. Generally,
Nice.
like, if he's in the middle of the room or on the ground, then like
Yeah.
there we go.
There's also like another attack where he dark bombs the ground or tries to Hadouken you. Those are also pretty good attacks.
Erased from existence.
Which attacks you... Yeah, go ahead.
Now we're going into. This is a Metroidvania game. We have to do a Metroid like escape sequence. Now we're doing
Yeah,
that.
so we're actually going to do something really cool here towards the end. So that was a really clean transition. That's a lot harder than it looks. You have to adjust your web swings on the fly there to get enough height to not get stuck on the top or bottom right there. So we started up a spider dash, and that allows you to run up walls and ceilings like Naruto. And if I hit web zip, I can actually zip around corners. Normally you're supposed to web swing across all of these ceilings, but I can carry a spider dash all the way to the end of this section and the end of the run. So time is coming up. As soon as I hit this portal, we're just about done, so get ready on time. And time.
Thank you, brave
Woo!
hero.
Alright, that is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions for the Nintendo DS.
Number of dimensions
I'm curious. Shasta, do you have a read on what my time was?
of gratitude.
It was about
Dang. Alright, I'll take it. Not bad.
Yeah.
So that was, like I said, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions for the Nintendo DS. I've been Jaxler, and thank you so much, everyone here for watching and for having me. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in this game or like, oh, I want to learn this looks dope, just send me a message or send like Shasta a message or something. We don't have like a Discord for a game because the only thing resembling a Discord for the speed game is our DM. Because there's only 2 of us right now. But yeah, just feel free to hit us up with any questions if you're interested in learning the run. If you want to catch more runs of this game, you can find me at twitch.tv/Jaxler1 and Shasta at Mr_Shasta. So check us out if you want to see more runs of this game. That's about all the time I've got. I'm going to go play some more Shattered Dimensions on my Nintendo DS. Thank you, Shasta, for joining me. That was a whole heck of a lot of fun. And up next, we've got Metroid Prime Pinball, so that should be a lot of fun, continuing a little DS block. So, alright, thank you, everybody, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Woo!
Bye, everybody.
That game was sick. Let's
Thanks,
give a nice chat round of applause for Jaxler and his run of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Thanks so much for being here, and you have yourself a great rest of your day. And yep, it is pinball time. Coming up next, we've got Metroid Prime Pinball. That's going to be run by Diceron, and we're just getting that set up for you right now. Still to come, we've got Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg being run by Cosmic, Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy run by Outrageous Josh, and then it'll either be Rayman 1 or Rayman 2. Currently, Rayman 1 is in a strong lead. Regardless of which game it will be run by Glackham. After that is going to be the run of A Hat in Time by Enhu, and all of these runners are more than welcome to come correct me on any of my pronunciation goofs here. At this time, however, I do want to mention we have a $50 donation coming in from Nanohertz, who says, Desert California represented. That $50 donation was contributed to a bid war, it seems. Oh, no, excuse me. It was contributed toward a target. It was contributed toward the Billy Hatcher Show Off Infinite Speed Trick incentive. So we've got about 3.5 hours to go on that. We are $88.25 of the way there. Our goal is $500. Definitely a doable thing here. As a reminder, every cent of every dollar contributed to this marathon goes toward the Coronavirus Relief Fund being by Direct Relief. Direct Relief is coordinating with public health authorities, nonprofit organizations, and businesses in the U.S. and globally to provide personal protective equipment and essential medical items to health workers responding to the coronavirus or COVID-19. In the United States, Direct Relief is delivering protective masks, along with exam gloves, isolation gowns, and other protective gear to healthcare organizations across the country. Direct Relief is also staging personal protective equipment with regional response agencies across the world, including in the Caribbean and South America through the Pan American Health Organization. Checking in on some later on donation incentives beyond the Billy Hatcher one, which I am actually gonna recommend that we go ahead and front load because 3.5 hours is a decent amount of time, but it's not a lot of time to raise $500. And after that's taken care of, well, there's still plenty of time after that for the Silent Hill 2 dog ending. That's at a price point of $1,000, but again, we have basically the rest of the day to get there. Beyond that, there are going to be incentives for just to get just a little whet your appetite on this one. There's going to be incentives for Silent Hill Homecoming, Jack and Daxter, and 007 Nightfire. So those are some incentives to keep in mind if you are wondering when or where you want to go ahead and send your money for this cause. I want to take this time and give a huge shout out to the crew of Calithon that has been putting this together. I found out about this marathon weeks before it happened. It came together so quickly, and you know, we've had a couple of little goofs and difficulties here and there, but it is, so as far as I can tell, it has been going very smoothly. It's honestly extremely impressive to me to see any sort of online marathon go as smoothly, even remotely as smoothly as this one, and this is just blowing it out of the water. So, massive thanks to you guys with Calithon for making this happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have planned in the future. We are all Californians on this blessed weekend. For those of you in the chat today, I'm wondering what sorts of runs you're looking forward to. I did mention that tomorrow there's going to be a run of all games, Ring Fit Adventure. And that one's going to be done by Eventifer. And hey, you know, there might be a little bit of an incentive on that one. I think we'll have to bring that one up a little bit later, but I think it's one that you're going to want to keep in mind. Another run that I'm actually looking forward to that you will have, that I will be joining you for tomorrow evening is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, the 40 org run. This is the Reignited Trilogy version, so it's with all the updated graphics and goodness and glory provided by Toys for Bob. And of course, we can't have a marathon like this without ending it off with massive hitters like Super Metroid and Super Mario Odyssey. Super Metroid will be run by a real cutie, and Super Mario Odyssey will be run by Dangers, the runner formerly known as The Dangers. Finally managed to get that first D just flicked out of the name. Congrats to him on that one. And as a reminder, we can't have a Super Metroid speedrun at a marathon without having a Super Metroid save or kill the animals bid war. And the status of that bid war is just about what it was before. Kill the animals holding strong at $107.50. Save the animals falling pretty far behind at this point with only $25. But we got 3 days. Anything can happen, and I think everything can happen, especially towards the end of Saturday. So I'm going to tell you right now, what things are looking like right now may not quite be the same by the end of the weekend.